إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله عليه وسلامه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته أجمعين. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد, عباد الله, we live in a society that is plagued by entitlement. And no matter how long or how far away you feel you are from the characteristics of a certain people, as the longer you spend and the more time you spend amongst that people, the more of their own characteristics are going to rub off onto you. How many times have you seen in our society that a person feels entitled to a meal at the snap of their fingers? Well, they go into a restaurant and they order a meal. If it takes a little bit too long than they expected it to take or they want it to take, start getting angry and start getting upset. We don't see that even in our relationships between each other, between our friends, our families, even our spouses, we have this entitlement to how we should be treated and how we should be perceived. This is plastered all over society, all over the social media, all over films and dramas and so on and so forth. It's there for everybody to see. We all have this, whoever has children, have this entitlement to seeing the success of our children. Our children have to be successful, no matter what. And if they are not successful, it is not our fault for raising them a certain way, and it's not their own fault for not following the rules or following the commands of their parents and their teachers and others. Rather, it is the teacher's fault, or it is society's fault, or it is somebody else's fault that is hell-bent on not seeing them succeed in the first place. This sense of entitlement that we all have. And sometimes it can be as small as coming to the Masjid and expecting to find a parking space, where even though you turn up really, really late. So we all have this sense of entitlement, no matter where we are in the spectrum of society, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, we have this sense of entitlement. Where does this come from? This comes from a lack of gratitude for what you already have. A lack of gratitude for the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already given you. Now from a kuffar society, from a society that has no belief in Allah, who doesn't recognize the source of their rizq, the source of their provision and their sustenance, where all of their good things are coming from, it's recognized, it's understandable. You're going to be ingracious, you're going to be entitled, and you're going to be woke. And that's why you have a lot of the stuff in the West that you have now, where people feel that they are entitled to certain things that they shouldn't be entitled to in the first place. And you have us Muslims looking at them like, what on earth is going on, and why are they even thinking the way they're thinking? But that's just how they are, because of the lack of gratitude that they have and recognizing where the source of their blessings come from. Now we as Muslims, we're in a totally different situation and scenario. We recognize that there is Allah. We recognize that He has sent the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We recognize that everything that comes to us from khair is from who? It's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no getting away from that. And we have to show our shukr, our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is la mahisa anhu, there is no getting away from this in any way, shape or form. Now, showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is done in different ways. It's done in, either you speak about it, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Either you speak about the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you many, many blessings. From it is your life, from it is your wealth, from it is the relative safety and security of living here. No one has heard a gun go off unless they're in the unfortunate hood somewhere in London, and some gangs are going off and doing their thing. But otherwise, you're not going to hear any gunshot ever, right? You go to other parts of the world and there are bombs and there are gunshots flying around everywhere and people are dying everywhere, left, right and center, and there's all sorts of instability. You have plenty to be grateful for with regards to your life here in the West, Whether it is your Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided to you and made you steadfast as a result of, you've just witnessed Ramadan and been and gone from that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you by reciting the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you by standing in front of Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you by coming here today. He could have been, or you could have been, from those who turned away from the Masjid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gone down a path other than what is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A path that is destined at the end result to result in Jahannam wa iyadu billah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from the hellfire. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. It could have been that, but no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for you to come on this path and come to the Masjid and come to pray to Him and remember Him. And so that this may be a witness for you on a day of judgment when you need your good deeds the most. Is that not something to be thankful for? There are plenty of things to be thankful for in your lives. So we must recognize and show that gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذْ أَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. And if we are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase us in all the good that He gives us. Whether we see that increase in this world or we see it in the hereafter. وَلَئِنْ كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. But if we turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we turn away from the gratitude of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we disbelieve in the goodness that has come to us from Him, then the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is severe. And that punishment can be in this world, and that punishment is most certainly going to take place in the next. So we recognize the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we remember them. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرُكُمْ. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remember me, and I will remember you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَاشْكُرُونِي, and be grateful to me. وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ, and do not be ungrateful. Brothers and sisters, whatever you feel entitled towards, whatever you feel, everybody has this inside himself, right? So have some self-perspective, recognize it in your own self, and see what it is that you feel this sense of entitlement towards. And it could be anything, a major thing, and it could be something small. Once you recognize what that is, and recognize why that is, always remember that whatever it is, be willing to pay the price for it, sacrifice for it. If you feel that your food is taking too long when it's being delivered, be prepared to pay a restaurant a higher premium for a better service. If you feel that your spouse or a friend or someone in your family, a relationship that you have with them is going sour and you feel that you should be treated a certain way, be willing to rise up and be a better person and have a better character and be deserving of the recognition that you feel you are entitled to. And if you feel that you are entitled to Jannah, that you should get in to those pearly gates, Yawm al-Qiyamah, and receive the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be willing to pay the price for it. Do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do, and abstain from that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to abstain from. You do that, brothers, you will be safe, and sisters. You will be safe from being woke, you will be safe from being entitled, and you will be grateful for everything that you have received. And if you do that, Allah will love you, and if Allah loves you, then His creation will love you, and if His creation loves you, then you're going to have a smooth journey in this life and the next. إن شاء الله تعالى. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. عباد الله, one of the ways in which we can show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only by saying it, but also by doing it. اعملوا آل داود شكرا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding the family of Dawood alayhi salam, and a command to the prophets is a command to the rest of the Muslim population. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands Dawood and his family to do shukr. How on earth are you supposed to do shukr? When you do shukr, you align yourself with everything that you are supposed to do. You align yourself with your true purpose in creation, which is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part of that worship is to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part of that worship is to recite Quran. And part of that worship is to make dua. Luckily for us, it is the day of Jummah. And the day of Jummah, there is an hour within that day in which if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asked for anything, you make dua to Allah, Allah will respond to you with everything that you ask for. Either He will speed it up and give it to you directly, or He will delay it to something to a later point, or He will give you something else that is far greater and far better for you than what you've asked for. We hope and pray that our dua coincides with that hour. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the bottom of our hearts and with the utmost sincerity to forgive our sins, to overlook our shortcomings, to save us from the punishment of the hellfire. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا زدنا علما ووفقنا يا كريم. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العلي الجليل يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.